Hi, this is Judd with Presenter Media, and this tutorial video will be taking a look at motion paths in PowerPoint and how to set up a quick motion path and go a little bit further into more advanced techniques for motion paths. So let's get started. And I have the Presenter Media add-in open, so I'm gonna use some graphics from that. You can install that pretty easily by going to the App Store, the Microsoft App Store, and typing in Presenter Media and installing that, and quickly type in your email to get started, and you can start adding some graphics that are free to your PowerPoint and start using that. So if you don't want to do that, you can just create a shape and kind of follow along that way. Okay, so I'm gonna search for basketball here, and it pulls up all the graphics that come up with basketball, and I'm gonna add this basketball right here, but before I add it, I'm gonna take off the shadow and reflection underneath, because that will look kind of weird if I make the ball bounce and the shadow and reflection bounce as well. So if I go to advanced and go to shadow opacity and reflection, turn that off, build image, and then add image to PowerPoint. And it is now inserted into my slide, and I can start putting on the motion path. So, motion paths inside PowerPoint are paths that the animation will, or the object will move along and create animation. So I'm gonna go up to underneath animation in the top menu and go over here to add animation, click on that. And if I scroll down to the bottom right here, I'll have all my preset motion paths I can choose from. And I'm going to start with arc. You can start with like a straight line or a turn or something like that. But I'm just going to start with arc. And you can see it already puts animation on the ball. Okay, let's keep going here. So once I do that, I'm going to go up to animation pane. Click on that just to bring up my animation pane, which will show my new animation in here. So I'm going to go back over to, with that selected over here in animation pane, you can see that that path is now selected over here, and I can start manipulating that path to make the animation do what I want to do. So if I right click on that path, you'll see edit points right here, and it'll bring up all the points along that path. And I can start moving these around by just clicking and dragging on them. There we go. So if I want to make a ball bounce, say something like that, I would start adding like these arcs right here. So the ball is going to come in. I'll play this real quick. It's not going to look great. Something like that kind of floats along. So, oops, went to the other slide. So I'm going to go back up here, click on that motion path to get it back. Right click, edit points, and I'm going to change these bottom where the arc comes down, change those to corner and scale them in using these little tangents. If you can see these little white boxes, if I pull these, I can manipulate the path even more and get some better looking arcs in there. And if I right click on the point, I can select from these three different options: smooth, straight, or corner. For the top arc points, I'm gonna pick smooth, and sometimes PowerPoint gets a little wonky. Like I will pick smooth, and then all of a sudden it'll go back to the corner if I adjust the tangents. So just keep that in mind. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter. As a ball bounces, it kind of gets shorter and shorter and shorter. It doesn't bounce as high. And I can also add points on the path. So I just clicked on the path and I click add point, and I'm going to drag this one out here a little ways and pull this one down. So I still have that. Okay, I still got corner selected, good. And pull these tangent points, these little bars in. And I'm going to select, see if I can get on the path there. What are you doing, PowerPoint? There we go. Okay, and I'm going to add a few more points along here. Looks good. And add a point in the middle if PowerPoint lets me. There we go. And kind of pull that one up about right here. Change this so it's set to corner, so I just have to pull these tangent bars in. Set this to smooth. That's already set to smooth. That's good. And I'm going to set this one to corner, which it already is. That's just need to pull those tangents in. So let's see what I got here now. I'm going to play the slideshow. Click. It's a little bit better there. Okay. Oops. I keep going to the other slide. Sorry about that. I'm going to go edit and kind of make that last path point level with the second to last one. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna preview that again just to make sure. Sure, I'll go with that. That looks good. I can also go further and click on up in the animation pane. I can click or double click on the path animation right here, and it will pull up the advanced effects for that. And I'm going to go where it says smooth start. I'm going to drag that. Oops. My computer is being a little funny right now. It thinks that's funny. Okay. I'm going to pause for 1 second. I can't pause. My computer has crashed. Okay, I'm back. My computer went a little wonky as I'm recording and trying to do this animation at the same time, but I'm back, and I'm going to turn this smooth start. I'm going to pull that down here and to nothing, and smooth end I'll keep where it's at and play that. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to stick with that. That could come in and a title or something could follow it. And I can move the object around, and you can see that it moves the path around as well. I can stretch the path out if I want by selecting the path and just dragging on the selection box. And I can probably make it a little taller if I want to. Something like that. That looks, I'm going to actually not make it tall. There we go. Okay. That looks good. Yeah, like I said, you could have your title come in after that. If I insert a box and just say hello. Bigger. So if I put that right here, and I'm going to add under animations, I'm just going to add a wipe to, and then change the effect options to the left. And in here, I'm going to change the on click right here to start with previous, and drag. I can drag this animation bar over so it starts a little bit later in the animation sequence. Let's see if that, yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to bring, with the ball selected, right click, bring to front so it's in front of the text. There we go. So you have your title, follow the ball. All right, let's move on. I'm going to use a rocket ship. I'm going to show you how to add multiple motion paths to a object. So I'm going to go back into the Presenter Media app, the add-in, and type in rocket. I'm going to go with, let's see, just a simple rocket right here. It doesn't have a shadow reflection, so I can just add it to my slide. And I'm going to rotate it. If you hold Shift, it will click into place at different points in the rotation. Okay, that looks good. All right, let's get started. Let's add a motion path like we did before. Underneath Add Animation, and I'm going to add an arc. That looks good. You can see that it added an arc right here. And I'm going to also go add one more. If you just go back to the same place we were, where it says Add Animation, I'm going to add one more arc. So add another arc. Then I'm going to go up to Animation Pane, and now you can see that I have two different animations in here, and I'm going to focus on the second one right now. So just make sure you have the second one selected. Then I'm going to go up to Effect Options and click up. So right now the arc is going down. I'm going to click up. Okay, now it's going in a different direction. So make sure you got that bottom one selected again. You might have to click off and click back on, and go back over to your work area on your slide, and make sure you click on the motion path to drag it over, and you can see that it's now dragging that motion path. And I want the beginning of this motion path to be around the end of this motion path, and it will kind of snap into place. If you see, there we go. So you can see that it snapped into place right there. So now we have a nice flowing arc in both directions. And let's take a look at that. I'm going to preview that, and I'm going to just click, and then I'm going to click again. You can see it kind of moves along the path, which is nice. And I could add more motion paths if I want to. I'm going to go, excuse me. I'm going to go add a turn right here and see if we can get this rocket to blast off. So over here in the animation pane, I'm going to, okay, the last path is selected, and I'm going to drag it over. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go up to Effect Options and do another up, so it goes up like that. Okay, now I'm going to go make sure I have that last motion path. Excuse me, got something in my throat. That last motion path selected, and drag over and drop it at the end of that last one. And let's see what we got. Goes to that one. I'll click again, and you can see that it goes up. So I'm gonna select that last motion path and click Edit Points, and I'm gonna drag that all the way out, that last point, so the rocket ship goes off the screen. Let's check it out here. If it goes off the screen, yep, okay, very cool. Then that's all I'm going to do for motion paths right now. If you want to stop watching and start adding your own motion paths to your images, text, or elements inside your slide, you can start doing that. I hope you have fun creating these animations. But if you want to stick around, I'll show you a few more things, and we'll go from here. Okay, so all these are set to on click right now. If I want them to just kind of play along a sequence without me clicking, I would have to go in here, and I can shift click all of them so they all are selected, and go to where it says start with previous. And I would also need to go, actually I'd go start after previous, so they all start after each other. So now if I preview the slide, oops, give me a minute for my computer to catch up. You can see that it goes by itself and then it blasts off. Okay. My computer's running a little slow as I'm recording. So we're going to add another animation. So I'm going to select the rocket and go add animation. I'm going to add a spin. So you can see that now that rocket is spinning crazy. That's okay, because we're going to change that. So I'm going to double click on the spin animation in the animation pane. And I'll bring up options. And where it says 360 clockwise, I'm going to change that to counterclockwise so it rotates up. And I'm going to change it to, we'll try 20 and hit enter. And let's see how that, okay, that looks pretty good. See how it's rotating up? And I'm going to make sure that it's at the end of the last motion path. So I'm dragging it around here, and I'm going to put it at the end. Not sure how this is going to look. So I'm just going to play selected. I can do that right from the animation pane. And it goes around. You can see that the bar is moving here. That wasn't quite what I wanted, so I can keep adjusting the animation here. And see if I can get it. Oops, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go right there, play from right here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to go play down here. So it does that, does that. Okay, looks like I'm going to need a little more turn. So I'm going to go back into, double click on the spin, go back into counterclockwise. I'm going to turn it to 50. Actually, I'm going to go 100. Don't know what that's going to do, but we can see if it's too much or too little. Okay, that looked pretty good. It kind of started a little too early turning, so I'm just going to move it and move the spin animation a little bit back in the timeline here. All right, one last time. Let's do it. Well, that's pretty good. I think it's a little too late, so I'm going to try it again. It's kind of just trial and error, a little bit of tweaking. There we go. The ship blasted off, and outer space it goes. So you could do, looks good. I turned all these back to on click, so I have to click them. So you could do where you got your text here. Let's insert, actually I'll copy over the hello from the other slide we just did. If you're still following along, thanks for following along. It's now turning into a little bit longer tutorial, but I hope you're having fun. Maybe you're following along with your own stuff inside PowerPoint, which is awesome. Okay. So I'm going to put that right there. Hello. And let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm going to move that down to this one. So on the second path, underneath it, I put that this one has a fade on it. I put the fade at the end of the path. So these are all on click. So this one is not on an on click. It's kind of a tongue twister. On and on click. So it will play, once I click the mouse for this path, it will play this animation along with it. So if I play it, no, I didn't play it. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Okay. Here we go. I just have it in the wrong spot, so I need to move it right here. So we'll go here, hello, and then we can add another one right here. And then I'm going to have to go back to animations, go add animation, and I'm going to, underneath here, there's also exit effects. So I'm going to go with a fade, and now I'm going to put that fade underneath the second path. So when I click to make the second path go, this text is going to fade out and this text will fade in. Like that. So right here, click this one, this text fades in. Click this one, this text now fades out, and this one has a fade in at the end, just like up here, but on the underneath this path. So it should fade out. So that one's good, and that one should fade out. This one should fade in, and I can do I can add another one or just keep it the way it is. So that one, and then my thing blasts off. And if I want to add, with this hello selected, if I want to add a fade out, I would just put it right there at the bottom and change it to with previous. So if it has with previous selected, it'll play with this click right here. And now, excuse me. There we go. Okay, so if I wanted to add like a space theme, I can go into presenter media, add in, and type in space, if I spell it right. And just, there's a lot of video backgrounds on here, like abstract video backgrounds I could add. And I'm just going to add one that kind of looks like space. Yeah, that kind of looks like space. I can make it a little bit darker. Oops, brighten it up just a bit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. Cool, that looks nice, yeah. Actually, I want a little bit different space. Maybe we'll add this one here. Maybe a little bit of purple background. So I'm adding that to my, using the plus sign, I add that to my slides, and then I can it adds a new slide. So if I just select that video background, copy, and then paste it and send it to back. And I'm gonna change these to white so I can see them a little bit better. Perfect. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm gonna preview, oops, with a video. I'll have to go back to the animation pane and let's see, go into animations up here in the top, go play, right, okay. And then also over here where it says start, just with previous. So, and I'll move this to the top so it will begin to play right away. And then if I click on the rocket, and then on the rocket, hello, and then it blasts off. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. Thanks for following along. If you made it this far, that was fun. So I hope you learned a lot about motion paths and can continue exploring and trying new things out with motion paths to make some cool animations for your viewers to be more engaged as you add subtle animation to your slides. All right, we'll see you on the next tutorial. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.